Oh, yeah, another Tech Preacher podcast. This your boy, Eric. We're going to have some fun tonight. Listen, man, I want to talk about this. The Google Pixel Fold is probably the most anticipated device that we looking for in the United States in 2023. This is a very important release. This release right here, listen, I don't care what nobody say, but this is the most important release in the United States. And we're going to talk about why, right? Listen, man, I watch a lot of YouTube videos. I read a lot of, articles. I feel what people are saying, right? A lot of people have two different narratives, right? One of the narratives is that the Pixel Fold is DOA on arrival because of the price, right? So that's one narrative. The second narrative is that, listen, Google can release this product, right? They set the price. That's their price. That's what it is, right? Look, don't make no mistake about it. That's what it is. So if you want the device, just buy the device. If you don't want the device, stop talking about the device. So we have two different types of narratives. Both of the narratives is true. The price is one thing. Now, a lot of people say, well, we talk about the price of $17.99 plus tax. It's almost to $2,000 after tax, right? Almost $2,000 after tax. Now, a lot of people would say, well, easy. Nobody don't have no problems with buying Samsung. When Samsung drop a $1,600 or $1,700 foldable, people buy it. They don't complain about it. They don't talk about prices. They don't talk about anything. All they go do is they go buy it because that's Papa Samsung, right? But make no mistake about it. Make no mistake about it. Pricing is everything. Pricing is everything. One of the reasons why a lot of people in the United States, and I want to talk about the United States, in the United States don't complain too much about the price of the Galaxy, it's because of payment options. Okay, let's talk about that for a second. Let me turn this music down. And this is where the Fold will come in at, the Pixel Fold. In the United States, right, if you want to get a Galaxy Z Fold, you could go to your three major carriers. Your three major carriers, you get that device and you pay $40, $50 a month. It makes it easy and simple for a person to get introduced into a foldable, right? And so Samsung has dominated the United States when it comes down to foldables between the Flip and the Fold, right? Nobody else is in the United States. Yes, a lot of people say, well, you can go import devices, right? You could do this or do that. Listen, man, it's all about the price. I've actually been talking to people. I've been asking around, talking to family members and friends. And I walk up to them and I say, hey, listen, if you wanted to get a foldable, would you buy a foldable? A lot of them would say, yeah, they'll buy a foldable. Well, would you pay $2,000 for that foldable? And 99.9% of them said no, they would not pay $2,000 for that device, right? But on the carrier, they wouldn't mind paying $45 a month. They wouldn't mind paying $50 a month for that device on the carrier. The carriers are so important in the United States, right? And a lot of people say, well, it is what it is, man. If they want the device, they should pay for it. They could do, trade-ins and all that stuff like that. Not everybody have a trade-in. So I look at things logical. Right? Everybody don't have a trade-in. It's easier for people to get a Samsung device. All they do is to go to the carriers. This is where Google can dominate right here, right? And I'm talking about the United States. Listen, of course, we got other foldables. We got the Oppo Fold, the Xiaomi Folds and stuff like that, right? But when we talk about upfront money, you'd have lost 90% of everybody. Now, a lot of people say, well, it's a tech enthusiast device. Let me tell you something. These companies want to sell more devices than tech enthusiasts. Okay, think about this. They want to sell more devices than to tech enthusiasts. They want to sell devices to the mass consumer. Listen, let me say that again. Samsung, Google, and all these other companies, they want to sell their devices to the mass consumer. They do not want to just limit themselves to tech enthusiasts and techies, right? We are a very small percentage of people buying it. They want millions of people buying it. Tech enthusiasts don't make up millions and millions of fans. So their Google and Samsung, they're playing. They want to get this device into regular people. How do they do that? How do they do that? Strategy, carrier support, deals, and stuff like that, right? Listen, man, a lot of people make this comment and scenario that Google don't really want to sell too many of these devices. It's a niche device. They made so many. They really don't care about the Fold too much. They just want to, have a product out there for. And I listen to that narrative, and this is where I believe that narrative is false, right? I am a business owner. I own businesses. That means that if I'm selling a product, I don't want to sell a product to Joe Blow because that person is only catered to that. I want to sell my product to everybody. If I release a product, I want to sell it to everybody. And listen, Google is not dumb. They spent a long time on their major keynote address showcasing their new foldable phone. You think that if they're going to spend all this time showcasing a brand new product, talking about a brand new product, you think they just want to sell a few of them? They want to sell millions of them. They want to sell a lot of them. Listen, man, I don't believe this false narrative that they just want to sell a few devices and keep it moving. They want to sell millions of them. They want to get this device into plenty hands. I'm going to tell you why. The carriers is the most important part of the Google Pixel Fold, the carriers. A lot of people say, well, man, I'm going to just, go to google.com and spend $2,000. Listen, I promise you, if you go to 10 people, walk and ask 10 friends that's not techies and ask them would they spend $2,000 on a smartphone, 10 out of 10 will probably tell you no. But if they could go to AT&T, Verizon, or T-Mobile and get the device for about $45 a month to experience a foldable, you might get 5 out of 10 that might say yes. Okay, let's say this. Let me say this again. If you walk up to 10 people, right, that's non-techies, and ask them would they spend almost $2,000 up front for a device, no trade-ins. Listen, man, I always take the narrative of trade-ins off the table because not everybody have trade-ins. So let's take that narrative off the table. If you go to 10 people, 10 out of 10 people, 9 out of 10 people would tell you they would not spend almost $2,000 for a phone. It don't matter if it's Samsung. It don't matter if it's Google. It don't matter if it's imports. It don't matter what it is. You take the techie out of it. You take the tech nerd out of it, and you go to regular people and ask them that question. 9 out of 10 of them would tell you no, they're not spending that kind of money. Now, they do want to experience it, though. See, here's the thing. A lot of people say, well, if they don't want to spend their money, it's not for them. But no, that Google and Samsung is looking at it totally different. Google and Samsung want them with that device. They want them to experience that device. They want to make it simple and easy for them to get that device at that price point. How do they do it? In the United States, the carriers is king. And if you don't believe it, check these numbers out. In the United States, AT&T has 290 million users. In the United States, AT&T have 290 million users. T-Mobile has 110 million users in the United States. Verizon Wireless have 142 million people on their network, right? Now, Google Fi has 500,000 people, not even a million. Right. So, I mean, you can that's a small percentage of people that's on the network. Now, if you add all the 3 major carriers up in the United States, you got 542 million of potential buyers that can buy your product at a good price. Because even though we talk about $2,000, but if you could break it down to 36 months, if you could break it down into a good deal, if these carriers do, add a line and you get $500 off and stuff like that, then it gives them opportunities to get this device in hand. Listen, man, that is the key to success for these companies in the United States. One of the biggest reasons, and I asked the same questions, that when we talk about the Xiaomi's and the Oppos and devices like that has foldables, right? And the question is importing it and paying upfront money. Listen, man, I don't know about you. I don't know about people's finances. I know the times we living in right now. I mean, listen, man, if you married, got a spouse, boyfriend, a girlfriend, whatever, and even if you're a tech enthusiast and you got kids and a family and a household, right? And you go to those people, you tell them that you're going to spend $2,000 on a smartphone, you'll have everybody looking at you like you crazy when they got so much stuff to do around the house, so much stuff to do, as far as savings, so much stuff to do, period. Spending $2,000 on a device, spending $1,000 on the device is almost a no deal for most people households, right? But they have other alternatives. The other alternatives, right? Other alternatives. What's that alternative? The alternatives is the carriers. Think about this. The Google Pixel Fold will be on 3 carriers. Well, 4 carriers if you put, Google Fi. That means that they have a potential to reach almost 600 million people. I'm sorry, 543 million people. They have a potential to reach almost 543 million people. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm sure that Google did the numbers, they did what they had to do, and if they can get 15% of 10% of that user base, first-time buyers, to experience the Google Pixel Fold, that puts Samsung on a different path that said, listen, they have to do more to give you more, and to try to keep their customer base. One of the things in the United States Samsung got a stronghold on is that they're the only ones in the United States, only carriers, as far as I understand, that sell a product. Now, when we talk about foldables, when you hear stuff like Samsung dominates in the United States when it comes down to foldable devices to the mass consumer. They have access to 543 million people. That is a lot of people. So this is where the Google Pixel Fold come in at, right? You have the Pixel Fold is going to be all the networks, AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, and Google Fi. That means you have a potential to gain a lot of new users. You give them an opportunity to finance, to get it in a lot of people's hands so they can get that Google experience, and it puts Samsung on notice. This is why I believe that the Google Pixel Fold is the most important foldable in the United States. It's because it takes that Samsung vibe and it puts Samsung feet to the fire here, right? Listen, man, in the United States, and you can call and talk to a lot of people, man. And most of the people that I talk to that's outside of the internet and the tech space is non-techies. Listen, man, if you go to non-techies that got iPhones, that got, regular Galaxy phones, right? They rocking a lot of devices till their wheels fall off. Once you show them your foldable, once you show them your foldable, what do they ask you? First of all, they go ask if it's an iPhone, is it Apple? You tell them no, right? And they love it. Most people that look at your foldable, they love it. They absolutely love it. They absolutely love it. They look at it like, God, I love this. This is beautiful. My God. Then they ask the question, how much does it cost? I hear this all the time. What is the price? Because, price is everything. I don't care what nobody say. When I go to the grocery store, what do I look at when I'm in the grocery store? The price. Of course, you look at the quality of the product, but you're looking at the price. The price is the one that I'm going to buy it or I'm going to pass. If I look at, a product that I want to buy, and if that price is too high, I will not buy it. So price is everything. Listen, a couple of years ago, we could sit up there and chit chat, talk about, hey, man, prices not that expensive, you can buy it or whatever. Listen, man, price is everything. And now I think with the carriers involved with the Google Pixel 4, I think it's going to be a phenomenon that I'm so excited about, because I believe that the Pixel 4 on the carriers, if it's $40 a month, $45 a month, that's a very good budget for a lot of people. That gives them opportunities to give Google a chance. I think with the carriers, and if Google market themselves correctly, that they can get these foldables in people's hands, because Samsung have done it. Samsung is doing it. Samsung is getting their devices in people's hands. Not everybody have $2,000 upfront money. Listen, you ain't gonna get 542 million people to come up with $2,000. That's just not going to happen. Even the people that's below the poverty line could probably spend an extra $40 a month to experience the Google Pixel 4. So I think this is a great opportunity. This is a grand stamp. I think this is what Google need. I think if Google do it right, I think if the carriers market it and do it right, I think overall, I think it's going to be a fantastic release. Right now, as far as we know, we have one version of the Pixel 4 right now is sold out. But for what I understand, June 20th is when the carriers are going to give a lot of information about the release. So I think what Google is doing here is they're going to have a bulk of devices going to the carriers so they can sell on day one. Then they got their pre-orders. And I think the carriers and Google, if they work together and they do it right, and they come out with grand slam prices as far as $40 a month or $45 a month, no money down, add a line, you can get $500 off. If you got an old 3-4-year-old phone, they'll give you $800 off and something like that. Because they do it with Samsung. That's what I'm saying. So if they do the same type of deals with Samsung like they do with Samsung, I think Google will have a flourish when it comes down to the Pixel 4. Now, can Google take some market share in the United States from Samsung? If they do it right, they can. Because here's the thing. Samsung is great. They're going on their 5th generation. And we're going to talk about some comparisons in a minute. But somehow, some way, you have that Google experience. If you have a Google Home and you got all kinds of Google products in your home, the Google device will go perfect for you. If you got a Google Pixel, you already know how good that stock Android is. That means that you can, get this device and you will have a very good experience. I believe that the Google Pixel 4 is in the United States. If they do it right, it's definitely going to put Samsung on notice. And a lot of people, well, Samsung too big, they're on the 5th generation. It's no way that Google could put a dent in the foldable market in the United States. I believe they can. I believe that if they work with the carriers, and if the carriers give you grandstand deals, remember, 542 million potential customers. Listen, 542 million potential customers. That's the key right there. 542 million potential customers that you can get. Now, if they could get 10%, if they could get 15% of the market share in the foldable game, that definitely going to put Samsung on notice. Listen, man, it's a fundamental difference between both of these devices. Listen, Samsung device is going to give you a lot, right? Listen, a lot of people say, well, Samsung going to give you more. Yes, Samsung will give you more. I mean, I'm just going to call it how we see it, right? When it comes down to it, the Z Fold 5, ultimately, together, everything for pound, when it comes down to features and functionality and power, is better than the Pixel 4. And you might say, well, how could you say that? You don't have a Pixel 4. Listen, man, I got the Z Fold 1, Z Fold 2, Z Fold 3, Z Fold 4. I have the Pixel. I got a lot of Pixel phones. So I have experienced the Pixel. I've experienced Samsung. So you could kind of come up with a conclusion of the experience that you're going to receive with both devices. I already know that the Pixel Fold won't have desktop mode. It won't have pen support. It won't have all those features that Samsung has. But what the Pixel has is a clean bill of Android. It's going to be fast. It's going to be fluid. It's going to give you that Google experience, Google Translate, awesome cameras. Battery life is here, there, right? I mean, battery life on the Z Fold devices are not as good. So, I mean, you know, yes, they're okay, but it's not groundbreaking, right? So, you know, I believe that when we get this Google Pixel Fold, then you have a fundamental difference in hardware. The Google Pixel Fold is going for that more natural, short, feels real good in the hand. Typing experience is really good. Open it up to a nice, good aspect ratio that works great. I think that's the part that a lot of people is going to experience. I think is going to have a very good experience. One of the biggest complaints from Samsung users is that the outer display, the narrow display, to some people is unusable. So here come Google with this nice, beautiful cover display that gives you a good wide shot that you could type with one hand, that you get a very good immersive experience. I think Google is going to win in that aspect. I think Google is going to win in a lot of aspects compared to the Fold. Now listen, it is a fundamental difference. If you want a device, want to use pen software, you need to jot down notes and stuff like that, you got to go Fold, right? The Pixel won't have that. If you like Samsung DeX like I do, I got a whole DeX station sitting over here, right? If you like desktop mode, if you want to do more productivity things, connecting mouse, keyboards, and hard drives out to multiple monitors using Samsung DeX, the Google Pixel ain't gonna be able to touch that. It ain't gonna touch that. It ain't gonna touch that business experience when you want to have multiple monitors and stuff like that. It's just not gonna touch that. Listen, they don't have desktop mode. You know, maybe in the future, maybe the Pixel Fold 2 or 3 Google might introduce desktop mode or something like that. But every review I watch, people that got the devices right now, everything that I saw, no one mentioned HDMI out. Nobody mentioned desktop mode. So if all the reviews that's been out there, everything, even in the keynote address, they didn't mention nothing about desktop mode. So that gives me 99% of assurance that this device would not have desktop mode. But if you like desktop mode, the foldable, the Galaxy Fold is the device for you. If you want pen, the Galaxy Fold is the device for you. So I think if you look at some of those aspects, then, you know, the Fold is the one. Listen, let's talk about maturity, right? And I think this goes to the Galaxy Fold also, right? Maturity, because this is the 5th generation. That means that Samsung has been through it. Samsung been through the growing pains. The first Fold, the first generation Fold was terrible, right? I got it, but I mean, I think it was a great device. But the first generation, they learned a lot. And then when they got to the 2nd generation, they made it 360. Then the 3rd and 4th generation, they just keep getting better. So now we're getting on the 5th generation. It's a mature product. So if you look at Samsung versus the Pixel is going to be the 1st generation device. There's going to be some growing pains. They're going to learn a lot. Now, a lot of people make comments is that they learn it on our dime. We pay $2,000 and they learn it based off of our experience. And that may be the case because it is a 1st generation device. I think for the most part, I think that Google will iron out all the issues, if it have any issues, and make sure that it's going to be a fantastic device. Now, the price, right? We talk about the price. The Google Pixel Fold and the Galaxy Z Fold is about the same price, right? But again, we talk about more mature product versus a newcomer on the block. I think what Google is trying to do is try to get people to give them an opportunity, a chance. That's why you have them on these carriers. If they do the marketing correctly, they have access to 542 million people. Now, if they wasn't on the carrier, if they was only just selling it on Google Fi, if they was only selling it online, then obviously it'd be a product that's going to be a super niche product that nobody wouldn't cough up $2,000. But the opportunity for people to get it on a carrier, I believe that is so awesome. Listen, I don't care what nobody say. Listen, man, $2,000 is $2,000. I don't care how you swing it. I don't care this, that, and other. If you break it into payments, it makes it a lot easier for people to buy into the narrative. Coming up front with that money, you have everybody come up with every excuse in the world not to drop $2,000 on that product, right? It is a fundamental difference. I promise you, if you walk in the grocery store and you see product, and if it's too high, you reconsider some of that stuff. Listen, I was in the store, I was looking at chicken, right? I mean, a pack of chicken. You know, $40-something for a pack of chicken. You know what I did? I thought twice about it. I passed it up. You know what I'm saying? I mean, hey, listen, maybe I don't want to eat chicken today, right? I'm not paying $40 for that. And that's the whole thing. You get when you have a high extreme price of upfront money, it makes people think twice about it. But if you had it easier for a person to get it, then you'd be like, yeah, I'd give it an opportunity. And not only that, but they get the Google Pixel or the Google Fold, the Pixel Fold on their favorite carriers, whether or not it's going to be AT&T, T-Mobile, or Verizon. Then they on a 14-day, you know, to get that experience, right? So 14 days. So that means that they have an opportunity to experience the device for 14 days, and they probably don't have to come out of pocket with nothing. Most of them go try to give you deals to get the device in your hand. T-Mobile, I think they make you pay tax on the device, but some of the other carriers, you may not have to pay nothing to get this device in your hand to experience. Now, 14 days, right? 14 days to experience it and to see what it's all about. We got to listen. I think this is going to be great. I think it's going to be wonderful, man. All right. That's what I wanted to talk about in this podcast, right? Man, I tell you what, time go by fast. I think that if you look at the potential of how Google can get this device in people's hands, I believe it's going to be great. I believe this is an opportunity that Google have to reach a large fan base. In the United States, we need Google. In the United States, we need the Pixel Fold because Samsung has to do better. They need to do better. Right now, going on the fifth generation of the Z Fold 5, Samsung is not doing too much here. Listen, man, when it come down to power versus performance, all these devices gonna be powerful. Samsung gonna be a little more powerful than Google. It's okay though, right? They still gonna perform very well. I think for the most part, this puts something on Samsung's mind. They got to, because Samsung had to understand, if the Google Pixel Fold does great in the United States, you have access to so many people. That means that Samsung has to do more. They have to do better. Man, y'all guys let me know. Man, I'm hyped because I want to see the Google Pixel Fold flourish. I want them to do what they got to do to get this device in people's hands. Price is everything, but it's a lot less if you can only pay monthly installments, man. That's the whole thing. I think the monthly installments is the one. That's the thing. That's the key to success. Get it into people's hands. You got access to 542 million people. Get it in people's hands. Let people experience this Google experience. Have people experience this. I think this is going to be great. All right, this is Eric the Tech Preacher. Another episode of the Tech Preacher Podcast, baby. I know I preach. Oh, boy, I preach. But I want y'all guys to understand. Listen, the narratives are here and there. I just want people to understand. I want Google to succeed. I want this device in people's hands. Make it easy for them to get this product in people's hands. That's what I want. I want this product I want people to try this product for the first time. Get it in their hand. Experience the Google experience. And you know what? You might leave the Fold. You might not want a Galaxy Fold after you experience the Pixel. All right, I'm out, y'all. Thank y'all very much. All right. Oh, yes. Thank y'all guys very much. I'll see y'all next week. Same bat place, same bat time. Later.